Now is the best time to learn how to code. Like, no, seriously. Now is the best time to learn coding because all you need is a computer, this video, and the right mindset. I'm currently a full-time software engineer at Google, and I remember writing my first line of code about 6 years ago. Today I've built Android apps, iOS apps, web apps in a ton of different languages. So I have some experience to share. I've also worked with like a ton of incredible engineers from different companies, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and I've learned so much along the way. So today I just want to share with you how I'd learn to code if I could start over today. The first thing you want to do is to pick a programming language to learn. For beginners, this might seem very scary, but the programming language you choose is only about 5% as important to your journey to learning how to code. This is because it's a lot easier to learn other languages once you understand one very well. If I were to somehow go back in time, I will start by learning how to code Python. Python is by far one of the easiest programming languages to learn. For context, this Python code counts the number of words in a text file, and this Java code does the same thing, but it's just a lot more complex. Python is also widely used in the machine learning and AI industry. There's also research that states that AI would create about 97 million new jobs by 2025 and would generate about $407 billion in revenue by 2027. If you're in it for the bucks, you might really want to learn Python. Though my personal advice is for you to learn Python, that's my advice. You might choose to learn other languages for your personal reasons, and that's fine. I really discourage you from learning many different languages at the same time during your early beginner phase because it's very easy for everything to get confusing. So after you've chosen your first programming language, the next thing you want to do is take a course. By taking a course, you have like structure as to your learning process. I highly recommend you take a programming course to provide you with the structure that you need to complete the entire thing. Some really good ones are the Khan Academy Intro to Computer Science course and the Harvard Intro to Computer Science course. Both of them are in Python. To be honest, if I were to put a price tag on these courses, they would be $5,000 each. But they're free. So I really recommend you take advantage of these free courses. The general structure you would find in most programming courses, you start with variables, then you go to conditions, then functions, then data structures and algorithms, then optionally things like object-oriented programming. Once you have a good understanding of all these, then you can safely say you know how to code. It took me about 1 to 2 years to get to like a beginner level proficiency of learning how to code. But lucky for you today, it can take you half the amount of time it took me because you now have AI tools like Bard and ChatGPT to help you speed up your learning process. The average computer science tutor costs $30 to $40 per hour. Yeah, that's very expensive. But today you have things like ChatGPT to help you break down your code line by line, explain things, and find errors in your code for you. So I highly recommend you use AI tools to your advantage to speed up your learning process and understand things better and faster. I've worked with so many engineers in my life, and the best engineers are those that always have an in-depth understanding to hard problems. I built my first web app 5 years ago. It was a simple trivia application that used the Jeopardy API to ask a series of trivia questions based on category. That was one of my greatest achievements learning how to code because I didn't think I could do it. In the process, I learned various other tools like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, things like GitHub for saving and controlling different versions of your code. To be honest, it really boosted my confidence a lot. When you have a good grip on the coding fundamentals and basics, I really recommend you build an app. It will help you like build your portfolio and increase your chances of getting a good job. And you also learn like other tools and interesting things along the way. Also, check out my AI personal trainer project and my ChatGPT Android app. These are amazing project ideas for beginners. But always make sure you're doing something differently and not just copying someone else's project line by line. Feel free to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button to stay tuned to my channel for more interesting project ideas. In my first year of college, I was the only Black female computer science students in my class. To be honest, it felt very lonely sometimes. This brings me to my next point regarding how important it is to find the right community. Because having friends to solve problems with naturally builds your motivation. And especially if you're not in a traditional college, you might have to do some extra work finding the right community. I recommend you join LinkedIn coding groups or attend events and conferences or coding competitions. I'm going to link some conferences and groups you can join as a beginner learning how to code in order for you to build the right community. Finally, interview prep. Learning how to code and training to get a job are two different things. And most people beginning their journeys learning how to code mistake this. If I could somehow go back in time magically, I would solve 2 coding problems per week. You can use this app called Leets Code. Leets Code is an app that gives you different categories of coding problems to solve, and it also tells you how your solution performs, which is very useful for interview practice. By doing this, you keep your problem-solving skills sharp and you increase your chances of getting a very good job. At this point, I think you have everything you need. As a recap, number 1, take a programming language course. Number 2, use AI tools like ChatGPT, exactly like how you would use your personal tutor or personal instructor. Number 3, build and deploy an app from scratch to finish. Number 4, surround yourself with the right community. Number 5, build your problem-solving and interviewing skills by practicing 2 to 3 problems on Leets Code every week. And finally, don't give up. The hardest part is always the beginning. Stay consistent, break your code intentionally and try to fix it. Be a troublemaker. Yeah, just be consistent in the practice. And at the end of the day, you'll be proud of the choice that you made to start learning how to code. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you will learn something from it. Feel free to subscribe to stay tuned for more videos like this and project ideas. And I will see you at my next video.